Hi there, everyone, and welcome to OB Learning Hub. There comes a point in Excel where you want to find just that one detail within a whole lot of data, but then seeing how the data is, it becomes a bit overwhelming, so you want or you tend to want to give up. Well, in Excel, here comes the lookup functions, which eases all these processes up. And in today's tutorials, we will tackle just that. So kindly stick with me to the end. If today is your first time seeing this channel, kindly hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to leave a comment behind to let me know what you think. Let's delve right into the action so as to ease our work in Excel. Here in our Excel worksheet, we have a list of data we'll be using as an example for today's tutorials. And so we have the names, the age, contact score, and also the grade of certain students. And so the first lookup function we'll be tackling will be the Vlookup function. Let's say we want to find the age, the contact, the score, and grade for Park Chae-young. Obviously, the list of data over here isn't so much, so we can simply take in Park Chae-young. Okay, the age 28, there's the number, and also the corresponding grade, the corresponding score and grade. The grade, there is nothing allocated here. But how about if the list of data goes on and on and on, and you can't easily locate Park Chae-young unless you scroll down and down? So here comes in the Vlookup function. All we need to do is to select the cell where we want to find the age. We would simply introduce the Vlookup function. So hit the tab key, and it is asking us for the lookup value. So what are we looking for? We are looking for Park Chae-young. Let's introduce our comma sign. The table array, obviously this is our entire table array within which the data is found. Let's bring in the comma sign and the column index. So the column index, so which column number is the age found? So let's start from the name. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 columns and the age is found in column number 2. So we'll simply type in 2. Then let's bring in the comma sign. And here, what do we want? Do we want an approximate match or an exact match? We want an approximate match. So one step down, then we hit the tab key. Then now let's close our parenthesis and hit enter to see our results. Yes. So now the age of Park Chae-young is 28. So if you have to come to the corresponding data where we found this age, it's obviously 28. So now to find the contact, again, we need to go through the same process, type in the Vlookup. Then now the lookup value is this. Let's also select the table array, which is this one. Then let's bring in the comma sign. The column index is 3. We'll type in 3. Then we want an exact match. Simply do that, close the parenthesis, hit enter, then we find the number. So to find the age, the contact, the score, the grade, you have to do it one by one using the Vlookup function. And so that's one flaw of the Vlookup function. So well, how about if this entire data has been turned down just like this, and the name, the age, the contact, the score, and the grade are found in different rows rather than they be in the same column? How do we find the data in such manner? So here comes the age lookup also, where your data has been positioned in a horizontal manner. And so to find, let's say, the age, the contact, the score, and grade for Lillian Jesse in this horizontal data, all we need to do is to also select the cell, come to our formula bar, and note, you can use the cell selected to type in your formula. I just prefer to use the formula bar. So type in the age lookup, we'll select it. And just like the Vlookup, the age lookup also asks for the lookup value. So this is our lookup value, bring in the comma sign. Then also our table array, this is our entire table array. We'll select that. Let's bring in the comma sign and our row index number. So you see, unlike the Vlookup that asks for the column index, here it asks for what? The row index. So where is our age found, or in which row? So row number 1, 2. So row number 2, select it, bring in the comma sign again. And here also want the exact match, close the parenthesis and hit enter. Then we find the age of Lillian Jesse. So let's simply check through. So what's the age of Lillian Jesse? Is 19. So the Vlookup and the age lookup are similar in how you want to input their parameters. And so moving on, you see like the Vlookup and age lookup, which requires you to find specific data one by one. In the Xlookup does it differently. How? So let's do it here. So here we want to find the age, the contact, the score, the grade for Lily Rose. How do we do that using the Xlookup? So select the cell. Obviously, let's bring in the S, or let's introduce our Xlookup function. We'll hit the tab key to select it. Then here also it is asking us for the lookup value. So this is our lookup value. Let's introduce the comma sign. And here it is asking us for the lookup array. Unlike the Vlookup and Hlookup that asks for the table array, here it is asking us for the lookup array. So within which data is this lily rose found? It is found here in this data or this array. So we'll simply select it. We can lock it up. So let's lock it up using the F4 key. Let's bring in the comma sign again. And here it is asking us for the return array. So what data do we want to, or what list of data do we want to find? In the case we have to find the rows in this whole data. So we want to return the age true to the grade. So we'll select the entire table or the entire array. Let's lock it up again. Then let's bring in the comma sign. And here the Xlookup also make up for this. If not found, what do we want to return? In case we don't have any little rows in our data, what do we want to return? And also, to type a test in a formula in Microsoft Excel, you always have to begin with a quote. So in case that we don't find little rows in this data, we want to type, let's simply bring the not found. Let's close our quotes. Sorry, let's close our quotes. And here we can ignore the last parameters. So let's close our parentheses and hit enter. Then the age, the contact, the score, and also the grade is provided here for us. And so the Xlookup helps you find data for all the corresponding headers you are looking for, unlike the Hlookup and the Vlookup. So how about if we have to come and see, let's search for the data for Lionel. So let's type in Lionel and hit enter. Oops, not found. Why? This is because there is no Lionel in our data. But how about if we have to change it to Lord Mensa? Let's type Lord Mensa and hit enter. Then the corresponding information for Lord Mensa is made available for us, because if we have to go through this array, we find Lord Mensa. And finally, the last lookup function we'll be tackling today will be the index and match function. Well, note they are not a single function. They are two separate functions that works together to make up for one function. So here also, in the case you want to find the same data, age, contact, score, and grade for Ramsey Bolton, how do we do that? Using the index and match function. So let's select the cell here first. Let's introduce the equal sign. And first, we'll start with the index function. Let's select the tab key or hit the tab key. And here it is asking us for the array. So this is the entire array we'll be looking for the data in. Then let's bring in the comma sign. And here it is asking us for the row number. So rather than typing in the row number, we'll first type in the match function. And the match function is asking us for the lookup value. So this is the lookup value we'll be looking for. Let's bring in our comma sign. And within which lookup array is it found, just like the Xlookup also. So this is our lookup array. And let's bring in the comma sign again. And here also we want an exact match. So we'll simply select exact match. Use the tab key to select it. Let's close our parenthesis, and also let's bring in the comma sign. And here also now it is asking us for the column number. So just like the Vlookup also, here which column number do we want to return? We want to return the age. So the age is found in column number 2. So we'll type in the 2. Then now let's close our parenthesis to end the whole formula, and let's hit the enter key. Then it returns 30 for us. If we have to go through this data, obviously Ramsey Bolton is 30. Do you think this is the end for the index and match function? Obviously not. The index and match function is trying to match up to the Xlookup. How? Well, let me show you. Let's clear this data over here. Then in the case we want to find the data or the information for this entire headings over here, from the age through to the contact, using the index and match function, how do we go about it? So let's select this entire cells from age through to the grade. Then we'll come to the formula bar, and let's first introduce the index function. Hit the tab key, and obviously the array, this the entire array we'll be dealing with. We'll select it. Then let's lock it up and bring in the comma sign. And here, instead of the row number, just like the first one, we'll introduce the match function. Let's hit the tab key, and the lookup value we are looking for is Ramsey Bolton. So we want in the column to remain a constant while the row varies. So we will lock the column. Then let's bring in the comma sign. Our lookup array is this entire data here. Let's lock it up again. Then obviously we want an exact match, right? So we'll select the 0, then close the parenthesis to end the match function. So here comes the first trick. So let's bring in the comma sign. So here, rather than typing in the column number, we'll introduce the last match function. So let's type in the last match function. So now which lookup value are we looking for? We are looking for the age through to the grade. But first, let's select the age. And since we would like the column to vary whilst the row remains a constant, let's lock it by hitting the F4 key twice. So now we've locked the row whilst we are varying the column. And let's bring in the comma sign again. So now what's our lookup array? This is our entire lookup array we will be looking for. Let's lock the headings up, and now let's bring in the last test or the last parameter, and that will be the exact match. So we'll hit the tab key to select the 0. Let's close the parenthesis to end our last match function, and let's close the parenthesis to end the entire formula. And here comes the last trick. Here, rather than hitting the enter key to execute your formula, we will use the control plus the enter key. Then our entire information will be provided for us. So Ramsey Bolton, 30, the age is 30, there is a number, the age, and also the grade. Here, you can see that the grade appears as 0. This is because we haven't allocated any grade yet. In the case I'm to type, let's say an A here for Ramsey Bolton, it appears here for us. So there is no need to worry since 0 is appearing here. In case there is a data input here, it will affect what we are looking for. Well, which of these lookup functions will you be using quite often? I do use the Xlookup often, and now the index and match function has kind of piqued my interest. How about you? And in our next video, we'll be learning all about how to edit tests using some functions in Microsoft Excel. So kindly look forward to it. Thank you.